You keep thinking I chose their death and left you holding the wreckage. You tell yourself I watched your tears and decided they were not enough to make me save them. That thought sits in your chest like a stone as you stare at the empty space beside you on the sofa. The room is quiet except for a distant sound from the street. And you notice your hands gripping the soft fabric of the cushion because you do not know where to place your anger. I am here in this same room with you, inside the heaviness, not far away on a distant throne. The air feels thick, almost hard to pull into your lungs, as if grief has filled even the space you breathe. Your eyes drift toward a photo on your phone or a small framed picture nearby, and your stomach twists because the smile in that picture feels like a cruel contrast to the silence now. I notice how your jaw tightens when you look at that face, and I hear the words you do not say out loud. If you are love, why did you let this happen to us? If you were powerful, why did you stand still when I begged you to move? These questions echo in you like a low, constant sound that hums under everything you do. Even when you try to distract yourself with small tasks, washing a dish, scrolling through your phone, the questions are there beneath your skin. I am not offended by those questions, my child. I am listening to every one of them. Your shoulders stay lifted, as if your body is always braced for another blow. The cushion under you is soft, yet your muscles refuse to soften with it. Your fingers swipe across the phone screen without focus, more to avoid the ache in your chest than to find anything new. I sit beside you in that exact posture of tension, closer than the fabric under your hand, and I do not pull away when your thoughts accuse me. You have heard people say that you should not be angry with me, so you try to hide that anger even from yourself. Still, when the house is quiet, sentences rise like a storm inside your mind. You tell me that I broke your trust, that I chose some hidden plan over the life you loved. You feel guilty even for thinking it, yet you cannot make your heart pretend that it is not hurting this way. I know every layer of that conflict, and I stay. Let yourself feel the weight of your body against the sofa and the way your feet touch the floor, one heel pressing slightly harder than the other. There is a faint light from a lamp or from a nearby window drawing a small line of brightness across the room, touching the edge of the picture frame or the arm of the chair. You can hear some small sound in the background, maybe a passing vehicle, a neighbor's voice, or a quiet humming of an appliance. In all of this ordinary, heavy moment, I am not outside looking in. I am in the middle of it with you. You wonder if I was present in the last moments of the one you loved, or if they were as abandoned as you feel now. Your mind replays scenes you did not see, trying to imagine whether they were afraid, whether they called for you, whether they called for me. These images come like flashes, and each one steals another breath from your chest. I was with them in every breath they took, and I am with you in every breath you struggle to take now. I know how you avoid certain corners of the house or certain objects because they hold too much memory. A mug on the counter, a folded shirt, a pair of shoes by the door can feel like a wound. Your hand may hover over those things and then pull back because touching them feels like admitting they are really gone. You may find yourself standing still in the doorway, unable to cross the threshold into the room where their laughter used to live. In that doorway, with your hand on the frame and your heart caught between going in and stepping back, I am the one holding you steady even when you do not notice. You have wondered whether you prayed wrongly or too little, whether some hidden failure in you gave me a reason to turn away. You replay words you said in desperation, trying to find the one sentence that might have moved me if you had said it differently. Guilt tries to build a story that explains the loss by blaming your faith, your strength, your worth. I am not weighing your prayers on a scale and punishing you for not praying perfectly. I am the one who held your trembling words with tenderness when you could barely form a sentence at all. As you sit here, notice the feeling of your own breath, however uneven it is. Feel the coolness or warmth of the air as it touches your lips and moves through you. Your hand, still resting on the cushion or against your leg, can be a place where you sense my nearness if you let your awareness rest there for a moment. I place a quiet strength under the shaking in your fingers, not to erase your grief, but to keep you from breaking under the weight you carry. You tell yourself that allowing me near would mean accepting what happened, and you do not want to accept it. Part of you wants to push me away, to hold me at a distance so that I cannot speak into this wound. Another part of you is exhausted from holding that distance, tired of carrying every question alone. I see that torn place in you, and I do not demand that you choose quickly. I keep standing in the space between your fury and your longing. Listen to the small sounds around you again. The faint noise outside, the creak of the furniture when you shift, the quiet hum that fills a house when all the loud things have stopped. These are not proof that nothing is happening. They are the soundscape of the place where I draw close to you. In this simple, unchanged room, I am already at work in ways you cannot yet see, not by erasing your memories, but by refusing to let the darkness swallow you whole. You are allowed to say that this hurts more than you can bear. You are allowed to tell me that you feel betrayed and confused. You do not need to smooth your words or make them polite for me. I hear the raw truth of your heart more clearly than any sentence you speak out loud, and nothing you confess about your pain will make me step back. For now, you do not have to understand why this happened or what your future will look like without them. Let this moment be smaller than that. Feel the support beneath your body, the way your chest rises and falls, the way your eyes sting or your throat tightens. While you sit in that honest place, I am not asking you for faith that feels strong. I am holding you while your faith feels broken and thin. Faith that feels broken still reaches out, even if only out of habit. As you sit there in that thin faith, there are times you almost slip back into talking to me the way you used to. A stray thought rises, a sentence starts to form in your mind, and then you pull away from it as if you have just touched something that burns. You change the subject inside yourself because you do not want to fall into the old habit of trusting me. It feels, in a hidden and illogical way, like loyalty to the one you lost to keep a certain distance from me now. You sit there and your eyes land again on the same picture or on a conversation thread you do not open. Your thumb hovers over their name in your phone and then retreats. Inside, you whisper, "You could have stopped this." Your mind begins to build small alternative stories. A different doctor, a delayed trip, a result that arrived a week earlier, one more heartbeat, one different choice. With each imagined change, you place me in the scene and tell me that I stood still and let it happen. Nothing about these imagined scenes is hidden from me. I do not turn away when you place me there and call me cruel. You are trying to find a shape inside chaos, a reason that might make this feel less like a sudden, violent blow. It is human to look for one decision that changed everything. I do not despise you for putting that weight on my shoulders. Notice your body for a moment. You lean slightly forward without realizing it, as if there is something just out of reach that you are still trying to grasp. Maybe your elbows rest on your knees. Maybe your arms are folded tightly over your chest, like you are bracing for another invisible impact. There is a faint line across your forehead from the way you frown whenever your mind goes back to that day. I trace that line with my attention, not as a critic, but as one who knows exactly how many times you have furrowed your brow in confusion and pain. You ask me, did you choose this? Did you approve their death like a plan being signed somewhere above me? You picture something official, a document with my name on it, a schedule with their last day circled. In your imagination, power looks cold and distant, and you wonder if love and authority can live in the same heart. You fear that any God strong enough to stop this must be too unfeeling to care. Listen to me here. I did not delight in their dying. I did not stand beyond the ceiling of that room, pleased with your breaking heart. The world you move through in its current state is not the whole of what I intended. It carries wounds from long histories of human choices, corrupted systems, unseen fractures in creation itself. Death is not a treasured tool in my hand. It is an enemy I have already set myself against. When you hear words like that, part of you pushes back. You say inside, but you could have intervened. You knew exactly what was happening. You could have bent the entire chain of events. You are right that I could have. I know the exact second that would have changed the outcome, the cell that could have healed, the road that could have been blocked, the impulse that could have shifted. I also know every hidden thread that would have pulled other lives and futures if that single moment had been different. I am not saying this to shrink your pain or to explain it away. I am only telling you that my view of the story is wider than the single frame that is choking you right now. Feel your feet on the floor again. Notice the way your toes press inside your shoes or against the surface beneath you. You are still here, living inside a body that is trying to carry love and loss at the same time. You may not trust that you can do that, but the deepest part of you has already begun. Think of how you once held them when they were sick or afraid. You loved them with your whole being while their body was hurting. You did not withdraw your love because suffering was present. In a way far deeper than yours, I am holding you like that in this moment. There is some object nearby that still carries their touch. A book with a folded page, a playlist they made, a note, a voice message you have not played again. When your eyes fall on it, you feel both a pull and a fear of what it might open inside you. I am present in that pull and in that fear, not as someone who shoves you into it, but as one who is patient with the pace your heart can bear. You may feel pressure from others to turn this loss into a lesson. They want you to find meaning quickly so that they can feel less helpless around your grief. Some of them say that I took this person for a reason, or that heaven needed them more. Those sentences rub against your soul like rough sand. You feel angry at the idea that I would treat the one you love as an object for a lesson or an ornament far away from you. I understand your anger at those words. They do not describe my heart. I am the one who gave you to each other as a gift within time, and I grieve with you that the time feels far too short. Your mind circles back again and again to the day everything changed. The phone call, the knock at the door, the message, that point where life divided into before and after. Sometimes the memory comes in sharp, painful detail. You remember every sound, every color. Sometimes it is a blur, like watching a storm through a fogged window. You replay what you said and did in the hours before, searching for a sign you missed or a decision you should have made differently. You talk to yourself with a harshness you would never use toward a friend. I hear those accusations, and I stand between them and who you truly are. Let yourself feel, even for one breath, the difference between responsibility and guilt. Responsibility can say, I had a part, I did what I could within my limits. Guilt says, it is all my fault, and I deserve this pain. There were pieces of this story that you could touch, and many that you could not. I am not sitting beside you listing every supposed failure. I am the one who holds the entire picture with a compassion you cannot see yet. Take another breath now, slow if you are able, even if it trembles. You do not need to force calm. Simply notice that air still moves into you and back out. Your chest still rises and falls. This is a quiet sign that your story did not end when theirs did. I know that even this idea can feel cruel, because part of you wishes it had ended, that you had left with them so you would not have to carry this separation. I have heard those late-night thoughts when you lie awake in the dark. I have never once turned away from your wish to escape. In the stillness of night, when the house grows so quiet that every small sound feels loud, you sometimes speak to them in your mind. You picture them on the edge of the bed or standing in the doorway with a familiar tilt of the head. You tell them about your day, about the tiny annoyances and the small victories they would have understood. You feel foolish and comforted at the same time. I am present in that imagined conversation, not to correct you, but to honor the love that keeps speaking even after the final goodbye. You have wondered where they are now. You fear that they might be distant, unreachable, dissolved into nothing. Then, in other moments, you dare to hope that they are held, safe and fully known in a way they never were on earth. As soon as that hope comes, you sometimes pull it back, because it feels like betrayal to be comforted while you still hurt so much. I want you to know this. They are not lost to me in an empty vastness, and they are not more real to me than you are. I hold them and I hold you within the same endless care. Let your eyes settle on one small thing in the room. A line of light at the bottom of the door, a pattern on the fabric, the curve of your own fingers resting against your leg. Stay with that single detail for a few moments. While you do, remember that my attention to you is far more focused than your attention is on that object. I am not distracted. I am not half present. Even when you are raging inside, you are not an afterthought to me. You may not be ready to hear words like hope or future. That is all right. I am not placing on you the task of rebuilding meaning around this loss right now. In this part of your story, it is enough that you allow yourself to be exactly where you are. Angry, numb, exhausted, flooded with memories, empty of words. I will not push you to call this good or to pretend you see a purpose in what still looks senseless and cruel. Right in this place, as you sit with clenched jaw and unsaid accusations, I am already planting small, hidden seeds of endurance in you. Not the kind that forces you to smile in public. The kind that lets you take one more breath, stand up one more time when you need to, lie down and rest when your body finally gives in. You do not have to feel these seeds for them to exist. My presence in your pain does not depend on your ability to recognize it. For now, it is enough that you have stayed. It is enough that your heart has spoken to me at all, even if most of what you say sounds like blame. It is enough that you are still here in a world that no longer holds the one you love in the way it once did. You call this barely surviving. I call it courage. While you are still just barely surviving, the world around you does not always see it. A message from work asks for an answer. A bill waits to be paid. A neighbor nods and asks how you are in a tone that invites only a short reply. Little by little, the outside world begins to expect you to function again, even as your life no longer fits the shape of your heart. You stand in the kitchen and notice how quiet it is without their footsteps, without the familiar sounds that used to fill this space. A cup waits on the counter. The tap runs for a moment while you rinse something, and you watch the waters swirl down the drain as if it is carrying pieces of your old life with it. Your hand moves through the routine almost by memory, but inside you there is a sharp protest. You think, I am not ready to live as if this is normal. I notice you grip the edge of the counter for a moment longer than needed, just to steady yourself. Your fingers press into the surface, and there is a slight tremble you hope no one notices. The light from a window touches one side of your face and leaves the other in shadow, and you feel like that inside as well. Part of you is visible and moving. Part of you is hidden and heavy. I am in both parts, not only in the one that looks composed. People who care about you try to find words. Some of them speak about me. They say that I have a plan, that I know what I am doing, that this will make you stronger. When they say this, you feel a coldness rise in you. It is not that you hate them. It is that their phrases feel too neat for the chaos you are carrying. You hear them and you wonder if they know what they are asking you to believe about me. You smile sometimes to make them less uncomfortable. You nod because you do not have the energy to explain why their sentences feel wrong. Later, when you are alone again, the polite layer falls away and the raw voice inside you returns. It tells me that if this is what my plan looks like, you want no part of it. You think that if I needed this much pain to shape you, then I must not be the love you were told I am. I do not turn away from that accusation. I would rather you hurl those honest words at me than bury them so deep that they turn into quiet despair. The deepest part of you is not wicked for resisting a picture of me that does not resemble true goodness. Many of the phrases that trouble you are attempts by wounded people to make sense of things they do not understand. They repeat what they have heard without knowing how those words land in a heart like yours. Pause for a moment and feel the weight of your own shoulders. They may be slightly rounded forward from the effort of carrying invisible burdens. Notice how you breathe when you think about seeing people again, about answering their questions. Does your breath shorten? Does your chest feel tight? Place your attention gently there, not to fix it, but to acknowledge the strain. As you do, know that my gaze is kinder than yours. I am not impatient with the pace at which you heal. On some days you move through tasks in a kind of fog. You wash dishes, fold clothes, answer messages, and yet parts of these actions are missing from your memory by the end of the day. It feels as if you are watching a version of yourself live while the real you stands a little apart. You worry that you are failing, that this numbness means you are not grieving correctly. I want you to know this clearly. Numbness is not indifference. It is your heart resting from a level of pain it cannot feel all at once. In the hallway, there might be a spot where you used to meet them in passing. A doorway where you would pause to share a joke, a quick touch on the arm, a simple word. Now you walk through that same space and feel a flicker of memory. Your body even turns slightly as if expecting them to appear. When no one does, a wave of emptiness rises. In that exact second, when your stomach drops and the air feels thin, I am holding that wave with you. I do not scold you for still expecting them. Love does not switch off because a date has passed. You may catch yourself laughing at something small and feel guilty a moment later. The thought comes, if I can laugh, maybe I did not love them enough. You almost want to pull the smile back off your face, to prove to yourself and to them, wherever they are, that your grief is real. Hear me gently. Your laughter does not erase your love. A brief light moment is not a betrayal of their memory. It is a glimpse of the same life in you that loved them in the first place. At times you avoid certain people and places because you cannot bear to hear their version of comfort. You do not want to be told that you should move on, that everything happens for a reason, that someone else has it worse. You feel isolated, as if your grief is a language almost no one around you can speak. I speak it. I understand every nuance of the sentences you do not say out loud. When you lie in bed at night, the ceiling above you can feel like a lid on a box. You may stare at one fixed point in the dark and feel completely alone. You remember the warmth that once lay beside you, or the presence that moved around this room. And you tell me that the bed feels bigger and colder without them. You wonder what the point of waking up will be when morning comes. In those hours, I am closer to you than the fabric against your skin. Your loneliness is not evidence of my absence. It is a measure of the love that has lost its daily object. Your mind sometimes wanders into a frightening question. You ask whether you are allowed to build anything new while the pain of this old story remains. You wonder if buying a new item for the house, making a plan for later in the year, or even rearranging furniture in a room they used to use is a kind of disloyalty. Part of you wants to freeze everything as it is, so the world does not forget that they were here. Part of you knows that time will keep moving, whether you agree or not. I remain with you in that conflict. I am not rushing you to change anything before you are ready. I also am not afraid of the day when you will take a small step into something new. Love for them and movement forward are not enemies. They can live side by side inside you, though that may feel impossible now. The fact that you are even wrestling with this shows how deeply you care. Indifference does not ask such questions. Notice your hands now. Perhaps one is resting on your leg or on the bedspread. Perhaps they are clasped together without you knowing, fingers pressing into fingers. Let your attention settle there. If you wish, you can imagine my hand beneath yours, not forcing you to release anything, simply supporting the weight that you carry. I am not prying memory out of your grip. I am offering you a place to rest it when it becomes too heavy to hold alone. There will be moments, more in the future than now, when other people's lives seem to move on without you. Announcements of weddings, births, promotions, celebrations arrive, and each new joy in someone else's world can feel like a reminder of what is missing in yours. You might feel ashamed for reacting that way, but I understand. I do not label you ungrateful for feeling the sting of comparison while you are still bleeding inside. For this moment, you do not need to decide what you believe about me for the rest of your life. You do not need to resolve every question about why this happened or how good can ever exist alongside such loss. Let this evening, this sitting or standing or lying where you are, be smaller than that. Feel the surface beneath you. Notice your own breath. See one detail in the room around you. In this very small space, I stay. I stay when you are polite to others and collapse inside afterward. I stay when you avoid me, when you say that you do not know if you can trust me again. I stay when you speak harshly to yourself and when you cannot speak at all. My commitment to you does not depend on how well you are coping. I am not counting how many days it takes you to feel better. I am counting each moment you keep breathing through what feels unbearable, and I am calling that endurance in you by name. You may not feel stronger. You may feel weaker than you have ever been. Yet even now, there is a thin, quiet strand in you that is not broken. The part that listens, even while it doubts, for any sign that you are not alone in this pain. I am touching that strand gently, not to test it, but to let you know that I am already there. On the days when you move through tasks and the questions about me fall quiet for a while, other questions wait underneath. In the quieter moments, when the strain of getting through the day softens just enough, your thoughts slip past the practical and land on a question that feels too large for your chest. You ask where they are now, not as an idea, but as someone looking for a real person. You try to picture them somewhere, and yet every image feels either too far or not real enough. In the bathroom, you stand in front of the mirror for longer than you need to. The overhead light is softer than it used to be because you changed the bulb to something less harsh. You look at your own face and see new lines of tiredness that were not there before. For a second, you see a flash of the expression they used to have when they looked at you with concern or with a small teasing smile. The memory comes and goes, leaving a hollow echo behind it. You lean your hands on the sink and lower your head. Water runs as you let it, more to fill the silence than because you need it. Under the surface of your thoughts, a fear rises. You worry that if you keep living long enough, the sound of their voice will fade, the exact shape of their laugh will blur, and some part of you will have lost them again. I know that fear. I hear the promise you make inside yourself, that you will never forget, that you will hold on tightly to every detail. You almost feel guilty when a day passes and you realize you did not think about one of your shared jokes, or a particular scene, or a specific birthday. You tell yourself that this means you are losing them. Hear me gently. Memory does not disappear because it moves in and out of focus. Your love is not measured by how constantly you can keep their image at the front of your mind. You also wonder, in the places you do not dare to speak aloud, if they can see you now. You ask whether they are aware of your aching, of the nights when sleep does not come, of the mornings when you lie still, wishing you did not have to rise. Part of you hopes they can see, so that they know how much they mattered. Part of you fears that if they see you, they might be disappointed that you are still here, still breathing, sometimes even laughing. I want you to know this. They are not looking at you with disappointment. They are not keeping score of how long you cry or how quickly you get through a day without tears. Where they are held inside a love that clears away shame, not one that increases it. They are more fully known than they ever were, including all the times they felt weak or uncertain or afraid while they were with you. That knowing does not turn their heart against you. It moves them deeper into the truth of who they always were to me and to you. At the closet, you pause with your hand on clothes that still carry their shape. Fabric hangs in the same position it did before, as if waiting for a body that will not return. You touch a sleeve or the edge of a collar and feel a rush of longing so strong that your knees could give way. You imagine them somewhere beyond your reach, and you tell me that it feels cruel to have these reminders in your hands while you cannot hold them. I notice your fingers curling into the fabric as if you could pull them back through time. I do not call that foolish. I understand the instinct of your heart to reach across the distance with whatever you have. Right here, in a simple act of standing in front of a closet, your grief is an expression of love. You are not failing me by loving them this fiercely. I am not trying to compete with their place in your heart. There is a table where you sometimes sit with a photo or a few objects you have gathered. You might not call it a memorial, but it has become a small center of gravity in your home. A ring, a piece of paper with their handwriting, a small item they used often. You sit there and rest your fingertips on the edge of the table and ask me if they are close or far. Are they in a place beyond all this, untouched by any more pain? Do they remember you? Will you really see them again in a way that feels like meeting a real person and not just a thought? I hold all those questions without rushing to answer them in slogans. I am not offended that you want more than general comfort. You want to know if the bond you shared is still real in some way that matters. I can tell you this: love does not simply evaporate. The love that flowed between you was not an accident. It was something I delighted in, something I nurtured, even in a world that can be so cruel. I have not allowed that love to drop into nothing. You will not be the only one in this story who remembers. The fear of being forgotten reaches not only toward them, but toward me. You wonder if I will forget this pain, if, at some point, I will expect you to be over it because enough days have passed. You picture me turning my attention to other stories, other needs, while you sit alone in the late hours. That image of me makes you feel even more isolated. Let me correct that image gently. I do not forget. I do not move on. I am not counting the weeks and months and then closing a file on your grief. Every tear you have shed since this began is known to me. Not only counted, but understood in its specific reason. The tears you cry when you see their handwriting are different from the ones you cry when you wake and reach for a shape that is not there. I know the difference. I stay present to all of them. Sometimes you avoid thinking about where they are because you are afraid of what your own doubts might mean. You ask whether questioning my goodness or questioning what you were taught about heaven puts you at risk, whether you are losing me along with them. You may even fear that your anger could somehow separate you from me forever. I do not abandon you for asking hard questions. The very fact that you direct them toward me shows that, somewhere beneath the hurt, you still hope I might answer. Your questions are not a closed door. They are a wounded heart knocking. I am on the inside of that door as much as I am on the outside, listening with patience that is not fragile. As evening comes, the light changes in the room. Shadows lengthen across the floor. The sky outside the window shifts through colors that you barely register because your focus is turned inward. Notice, just for a moment, the way the changing light touches the objects around you. A picture frame catches a faint glow along its edge. A chair casts a longer line on the floor. Your own hands look slightly different in this softer light. In a similar way, my presence with you can look different at different times, even though I have not moved away. There are moments when you may feel a rare calm settle over you for no obvious reason. There are other times when all you feel is ache. I am not more with you in the calm than I am in the ache. I am equally present in the wave of pain that knocks you off balance and in the breath that follows when you slowly steady yourself again. You may worry that if you allow yourself any comfort about where they are now, you will lose the urgency of your grief and somehow betray them. You think that staying in pure sorrow is the only honest way to honor what you shared. I know this conflict. I will not rush you into comfort you do not feel. At the same time, I want you to know that any peace I give you about them is not a threat to your love. It is a way of honoring both them and you. For now, you do not have to decide how to hold all of this. You do not have to decide what you believe about every mystery that surrounds life and death. You may simply sit here, or stand by the closet, or lean over the sink, and tell me that you miss them so much that it feels like a physical wound. You may tell me that you are afraid of forgetting and afraid of being forgotten. I can carry both fears without dropping you. If it helps, you might place one hand gently over your heart or on your chest and just notice its weight there. Let that touch be a small acknowledgement that you are still alive, still feeling, still loving across a distance you did not choose. As you do that, I am closer to you than your own hand. I am holding you and the one you love within the same wide mercy, even though you can see only a small portion of it from where you stand now. After so many waves of questions and anger, there are also days when no large thought forms at all, only a heavy tiredness that settles over everything. You open your eyes, and for a brief second you forget. Then memory returns like a weight dropping into your chest. The simple act of sitting up on the bed feels like lifting something too large for your strength. You swing your feet to the floor and let them rest there, not rushing to stand. The surface under your soles is familiar, yet your own body feels unfamiliar to you. It carries more than it did before. Muscles remember where they used to walk with purpose. Now they hesitate as if every room holds a different kind of ache. I notice you in that pause, between lying down and standing, and I am not disappointed by how long you take. Sometimes you slide down to sit on the floor instead of a chair, your back against the side of the bed or against a wall. The angle feels grounding, closer to the solid presence of the ground beneath you. From there, the room looks different. You see the lower edge of furniture, the pattern of the floor, the way light from the window stretches out in a band across the surface. In that low place, where you feel both small and safe enough to drop the mask, I am sitting with you. You tell yourself that you should be doing more tasks, more responding, more caring for others. You look at lists that used to be manageable and now seem like a language you no longer speak. Some days you manage to cross off a few items. Other days you move them forward untouched. You judge yourself harshly for what you call weakness. Hear me with kindness. What you call weakness is often the honest measure of what your heart and body can carry in this season. Grief is not an invisible thing that lives only in your thoughts. It takes energy from your bones, from your nerves, from your ability to focus and decide. You are not lazy. You are injured. You may notice that simple tasks cost more now. Standing at the sink to wash dishes makes your lower back ache sooner. Sorting through mail makes your eyes blur. Cooking a basic meal feels like a project that requires planning you do not have. When you reach for your phone to reply to a message, your fingers hover over the screen, unsure what to say. Part of you wants to answer everyone so they will know you are grateful. Another part cannot find the words. I am not counting the unanswered messages as evidence that you are failing. I see the quiet victories that no one else notices. The moment you stand when you would rather stay lying down. The moment you drink a glass of water when it would be easier to ignore your own needs. The moment you choose to step into the shower, even when you feel too tired, because some part of you still believes your body deserves care. In the living room, there might be a chair by the window where you sometimes sit without turning on any lights. Outside, life moves. A car passes. Someone walks a dog. A child rides by on a bicycle. You watch for a few minutes, detached from it all, as if you are observing a world that no longer includes you. You think that everyone else is living on a different level now, one where the rules of your inner landscape do not apply. I know the strange feeling that comes when you realize the world has not stopped with your loss. It can sound cruel to say this, but the same world that feels indifferent is also the place where I continue to meet you. My attention to you is not diluted by the movement of other lives. I can fully hold your story while fully holding theirs. There may be a small routine you have kept without fully knowing why. Making a cup of tea or coffee at a certain time. Folding a blanket at the end of the day. Checking that a door is locked. These simple motions can feel mechanical, yet they also mark that you are still here. You sometimes think they mean nothing. To me, they are threads of continuity, small acts by which you remain connected to your own life. You worry that if you accept any help, you are admitting defeat. You glance at offers from others and feel pulled in two directions. One direction says that you should be strong enough to handle this alone. The other direction longs for someone to sit with you, to bring a meal, to take one small task from your hands. There are times you choose isolation because it feels safer than risking being misunderstood. I understand this tension. I will not shame you for the days you cannot reach back. At the same time, I am quietly glad for every moment you allow even a small kindness to reach you. It might be a message you finally answer, a neighbor you let help carry something, a friend you allow to listen without fixing. Receiving care does not erase your strength. It reveals that you are human, and I created humans to need one another. By the front door, there may be shoes that have not moved much since the loss. Some belong to you. Some belonged to them. You walk past them and feel a small tightening in your chest. You wonder when, if ever, you will be able to sort or move these things. You tell yourself there will be a right time, but you cannot see it yet. I am not setting a hidden deadline for you. I am not waiting with arms crossed for the day you finally pack a box or rearrange a shelf. Those moments will come when they come, and I will be with you then too. For now, I am with you each time your eyes touch those shoes and you feel that rush of loss. Even the act of simply walking past them is not nothing. You are living beside a reminder of pain and still breathing. There are nights when you lie awake listening to sounds you once never noticed. The hum of an appliance, the faint ticking of something in another room, the distant noise from outside. In the past, you might have found them dull. Now they feel like markers of time that you are moving through without the one you love. You tell me that you do not know how many more nights like this you can endure. I do not answer by telling you to think about years or decades. I answer with this night, this one stretch of dark where you are. I am in it with you. You do not need to solve your whole future while you are this tired. You do not need to know how you will survive every holiday, every anniversary, every what if. It is enough to breathe in this hour. I will meet you again in the next. You sometimes look back on the person you were before this happened and feel like you were staring at a stranger. You miss your own old self as much as you miss the one you lost. You remember how easily you could laugh, how your mind made plans without hesitating, how you trusted me with less effort. You wonder if that person is gone forever. I look at the old version of you with tenderness. I also see who you are becoming in the middle of this storm. You may not recognize any growth in yourself, only scars. Yet even now, there is a deepening capacity in you to understand the pain of others, to sit with silence, to value presence over answers. None of this excuses what you have suffered. I do not send tragedy as a tool, but I do work within what has happened, never wasting a tear you have cried. If it helps, you might let your shoulders drop a little right now. Notice if you have been holding them up near your ears, braced without realizing it. Let them fall closer to their natural place. Feel the slight release in your neck, the small easing in your upper back. Even such a tiny change matters. Your body has been trying to shield you for so long. I am gently inviting it to rest, even for a moment. You may not feel ready for words like healing or rebuilding. That is understandable. Those words can sound like demands to get better faster. For now, we can use simpler words. Breathing, sitting, standing, lying down, drinking water, looking out of a window, answering one message, lighting a small light in a dark room. These are not signs of denial. They are signs that life, however fragile, is still moving through you. In all these small movements, I walk with you, not ahead of you, calling you to catch up, not behind you, pushing. I walk beside you at the pace you are truly at, not the pace you think you should be at. When you stop, I stay. When you cannot take a step, I sit on the floor in that quiet room with you. When you finally rise, a little unsteady, I rise with you. As time keeps moving around you, your mind sometimes reaches a little further ahead than today, and even that small step feels frightening. You think about dates that are coming, appointments, responsibilities, seasons changing. Each one seems to ask a question you do not know how to answer. How do I live this life as it is now? You sit at a table with a piece of paper in front of you, or a notebook that used to hold simpler plans. A pen rests in your hand, its weight familiar but strange. You used to write lists, ideas, hopes. Now the page stays blank for a long time. Your hand hovers, then falls still. Part of you wants to plan nothing, as if refusing to write the future could keep you close to the past. I notice the blank space on that page, and I do not despise it. The emptiness is honest. It reflects how much has been torn open inside you. You are not failing me by needing time before you can write anything new. Even so, I am already holding pages you cannot yet imagine. Not as pressure, but as assurance that your story has not ended where it feels like it did. When you do manage to write something, maybe just a single task or appointment, it can feel like a betrayal. You think, if I am planning this, does it mean I am accepting that they are gone? You may even cross out words because seeing them written makes the future feel too real. I am with you in that conflict. I know that for you, a small line of ink can feel heavier than many spoken words. Your phone may buzz with messages about events later in the year, invitations, reminders, practical details. You read them with a sense of distance, as if they are addressed to someone else. Sometimes you ignore them. Sometimes you reply with a neutral sentence just to keep from explaining your whole heart. Afterward, you wonder if you agreed to something you will not have the strength to attend. I understand that uncertainty. I am not asking you to know right now what you will be able to do months from this moment. It is all right to change your mind later. It is all right to say yes and later realize you need to say no. Or to say no and later find that you are ready for something more. My patience with you does not expire if your capacity shifts. You may feel pressure to reinvent yourself, to find a new purpose or identity in order to make sense of this loss. People might speak about how suffering shapes character, or how you will come out stronger. Their words may land on you like stones instead of support. You are not thinking about strength. You are thinking about getting through the next morning without coming apart. Know this. I am not demanding that you turn your pain into a project. You do not have to build a grand purpose out of this in order for your life to matter. The fact that you continue to love, that you continue to breathe, that you still care at all what kind of person you become, already speaks of something real in you. I see that even when all you see is exhaustion. Sometimes a small idea crosses your mind. Perhaps you think about taking a short walk, starting a simple habit, talking to someone who understands grief, or writing a few lines in a journal. As soon as the idea appears, another voice in you says, it will not change anything. They will still be gone. You feel foolish for even imagining that any action could make this more bearable. I do not laugh at those small ideas. I often plant them quietly, like seeds that you are free to accept or set aside. A brief walk may not solve your pain, but it can remind your body that there is still air and space and light outside the walls that have held your ache. A conversation with someone who has walked a road like yours cannot remove your grief, but it can keep you from being crushed by the sense that you are the only one carrying such weight. You might find yourself standing in a doorway, looking at a room you have barely entered since the loss. You hold the frame with your hand and feel the familiar pullback and the faint tug forward. On some days you turn away. On another day, without even planning it, you might step one pace inside, then stop. That single step can feel enormous. When that day comes, I will be in the doorway with you. I will not drag you further than you can bear. I will not celebrate in a way that makes you feel pushed. I will simply stand with you inside that room, sharing the echo of memories that lived there. I do not see you as weak for needing time. I see you as courageous for facing a space that holds so much. You also wonder about who you will be to other people now. Will they treat you only as the one who has lost, as if that is your whole name? Will they expect you to be an example of how to grieve well? Will they forget and ask careless questions? You fear both being defined by your loss and having it ignored. I call you by a name deeper than this loss. I know every part of your history before this and every part that will unfold after. You are not a symbol to me, not an object lesson, not a role. You are my child, with a story that includes joy, confusion, failure, beauty, and this sharp wound. I can hold all of it together without reducing you to any single part. Sometimes you imagine a version of the future where you are able to smile more freely, to enjoy simple things, maybe even to love in new ways. As soon as that image appears, you feel disloyal. You think, if I ever feel whole again, does that mean what we had was not as deep as I thought? The idea that you could be alright one day feels like an insult to what you lost. Listen carefully. Healing does not cheapen what came before. If anything, it honors it. To carry this love forward in a way that allows you to live fully is not to erase them, but to let the best of what you shared continue to shape you. I am not asking you to rush to that place. I am simply telling you that if one day your laughter comes more easily, it will not rewrite the truth of how much they meant to you. In time, you may consider reaching for help beyond your closest circle. A counselor, a group, a trusted guide. Part of you resists, thinking you should be able to handle this by yourself or with only me. Yet you also sense that speaking your story in a safe space where it is received with understanding could ease some of the pressure inside your chest. I am not wounded if you seek that kind of help. I am present in every honest conversation that gives your grief room to breathe. I work through wisdom and compassion in others, as well as through your private prayers and silence. Bringing your pain into the light does not make it larger. It simply keeps it from growing in the dark. If it helps, you might look around the room you are in and identify one thing that was not here before this loss. It could be a new object, a card someone sent, a plant, a blanket, even a mark on the wall. Let yourself notice that life has been moving in small ways, even in the middle of your grief. This is not to say that everything is better. It is only to say that time has not erased you. You are still here, still capable of noticing. You do not need to know what you will do with tomorrow or next month. You do not need a clear plan for how to integrate this loss into your story. Right now, It is enough that you are willing to consider that there might be days ahead where pain and goodness exist together, even if that feels impossible. I will walk with you into those days at the pace you can bear. Before you think about the road ahead, look at where you have already been. You have walked through many rooms inside yourself since this loss began. Shock, raw anger, numb days, nights that seemed to have no end. Questions about me, questions about them, questions about who you are now. None of this has been simple. None of it has followed a straight line. If you look back, even over just these recent days, you may notice small shifts that you did not choose and did not plan. A moment when you named your anger more clearly. A moment when you allowed yourself to cry without apologizing inside. A moment when you rested your body on the floor or on a chair and admitted that you were tired. These are not signs that you are over anything. They are signs that your heart is still alive. Right now, in this moment, notice where you are. Perhaps you are sitting. Perhaps you are lying down. Feel the surface beneath you, carrying your weight. Let your awareness move to the place where your body meets that support. You are not holding yourself up alone. Something is underneath you, steady and quiet. In a way far beyond that simple surface, I am underneath you as well. I am the one who has held you when you felt like you were falling through endless space. Even when your thoughts spiraled and your emotions crashed, there was a point beyond your awareness where you were still held. You are still held now. You may be tempted to judge your progress, to ask whether you are grieving in the right way or fast enough. Some days you may think you are moving forward. Other days you feel dragged back into the sharpest part of the pain, as if no time has passed at all. Grief does not fit on a straight timeline. It is more like a tide that rises and falls, sometimes without warning. I am not standing on a shore far away, watching your waves from a distance. I am in the water with you, supporting you when the current pulls hard, steadying you when your feet cannot find the bottom. I do not love you less on the days when you feel pulled under. I do not love you more on the days when you feel a little steadier. There will be times ahead when your heart suddenly aches without an obvious trigger. A smell, a song, a phrase, a certain kind of light in the room. These moments will come even when other parts of your life have grown. When they do, you may be tempted to say, I am back where I started. You are not back at the beginning. You are visiting a familiar place with a heart that has walked further, even if you cannot see the difference. You do not need to erase your grief to live. You do not need to stop missing them in order to move through your days. Missing them is one of the ways your love continues to speak. Over time, that missing may change in shape. It may grow less sharp in some ways and more deep in others. I will be present inside each change. Think for a moment of one way they made your world larger. A way they helped you laugh, or see something new, or feel more yourself. You do not have to think long or hard. You can let the first small memory come. That gift did not vanish with their last breath. It remains as part of who you are. I delighted in that gift when they were with you. I still delight in it now. You may worry that trusting me again would mean letting go of your questions, or pretending that this loss does not hurt as much as it does. That is not what I am asking. I am not inviting you into denial. I am inviting you to bring all that you truly feel into my presence. Your doubts, your anger, your tenderness, your love. I can receive all of it without breaking. If prayer feels too hard, too loaded with expectations and old words, Then for now, you can let your simplest thoughts be your prayer. A sigh, a single sentence, even a silence that you hold while knowing I am here. You do not need to impress me with language. I already know what you mean when you cannot speak. In the days ahead, you may find small moments that feel almost ordinary. A taste of food you enjoy, a brief laugh you do not force, a quiet hour when your body feels a little less tense. When these moments come, you might feel a sting of guilt, as if you were stepping outside the circle of grief for too long. I want you to hear this clearly. It is not a betrayal of them to feel a small goodness in your day. It is not a betrayal of your love to notice beauty in a sky, or comfort in a song, or warmth in another person's presence. The same heart that loves them can also receive these small gifts. I am the source of both your capacity to love them and your capacity to taste goodness again. I am not pitting them against each other. There will also be days when the only thing you accomplish is breathing and staying. On those days, you might call yourself names. Useless, broken, too much, not enough. Those words do not come from me. When I look at you on your hardest day, I see someone who is still here in the middle of a storm that could have crushed them completely. I call that brave, even if you do not. If you wish, take one slow breath now. Feel the air fill your lungs. Feel it leave again. This simple rhythm has carried you through every moment since the loss, even when you wished it would stop. Each breath has been a quiet yes to staying, even when you did not feel ready for another day. I have been inside each one, not as a distant force, but as a presence who knows your exact pain. You do not know exactly how your life will look from here. You do not know how holidays will feel, or how you will walk through anniversaries, or what new chapters might open. You do not have to. The map of your future is not a burden you are meant to carry all at once. I know every step that lies ahead. I am not revealing them to you because I am cruel, but because I know the weight you can bear right now. I will give you light for the step in front of you, and when you reach that step, I will give you light for the next. I will not leave you in the dark with no guidance, and I will not blind you with more than you can see. As this moment in our conversation comes toward a pause, nothing about your situation has been reversed. The one you love is still gone from your sight. The rooms of your home still echo with their absence. Your questions have not all been answered. I do not minimize any of that. What has been true from the first moment of your loss and will remain true long after this particular wave of pain is this: you have never been abandoned, not in the hospital room or at the accident, not at the bedside, not at the phone call, not on the floor, not in the shower, not in the hallway, not in the bed where you lie awake, not in the chair where you sit staring at nothing. In every one of those places, I have been with you. I am with you now. In the weight of your body against the surface that holds you, in the rise and fall of your breath, in the quiet space between your thoughts. I am not asking you to feel this perfectly. I am simply telling you that my presence does not depend on your awareness of it. So I bless you in this place where you are. I bless the ground beneath your feet, that it would feel a little more steady when you stand. I bless the nights you survive, that in the worst hours there would still be a small, gentle thread of comfort that does not break. I bless the love you carry for them, that it would remain true and strong without crushing you. I bless your tears, that they may fall without shame. I bless your questions, that they may lead you not into despair, but into deeper honesty with me. I bless your body, weary as it is, with moments of rest that come even when you do not think to ask. And I bless the fragile possibilities ahead of you, the steps you cannot yet see. May you discover, slowly and in real ways, that you are never walking any of them alone. When the next wave of pain comes, remember this if you can. Even if you forget, it will still be true. I will be there, as I am here, holding you in a love that does not end at graves or with tears.